Alright, so welcome to Building a SpaceX Clone, session number 6. Last time you were asked to generate about 25 boxes. So this would naturally span quite long over one page. So therefore this time we will add custom pagination. We will not use any gems. We will put in a next and previous buttons, which we will modify via the controller and view. And we will also add an extra search form on the missions list page. Okay? Alright, let's get started.
Ground control to Major Tom.
7, 6,
Commencing countdown, engines on.
3, 2,
Check ignition and may God's love
Lift
be
off.
with you.
Alright, so let's go to your terminal and open it up and then cd into your projects directory. So here I type cd ROR projects / rockets corp. Okay, hit enter and then type atom space dot. At least that's what I do to open up my text editor, and you can open up yours. Okay, and then open another tab in your terminal where we will start the server. So here type Rails space S, right? And okay, I didn't hit enter here when I went back to my Atom tab. So now I hit enter and there we go. Now I have my text editor open. Let's open up the browser and let's go to our project. So I type localhost 3000 and I'm actually going to show you what we're going to do here. So I have mixed things up a bit. So this is actually what we want to do. We want to have a next button on the first page, and when we hit next, the previous button shows up. And when we go to the last page, the next button disappears, the previous is there, and we show a message saying, sorry, this is the last mission page. Okay, so let's get started with that. And let's go back to the text editor. So we're going to pick up where we were last time, which was in the seeds file, and then your exercise was to create more boxes. But now go back to your mission.html file and then where it says call-md-4, change that to a 3. Then we're going to have 4 columns instead of 3. Go and refresh and here you go. Now we have 4 columns. Okay? Let's go back to the text editor and now go to the controller and open up the missions controller. And first we want to limit so it's only 8 boxes per page. So just as we did .limit parenthesis 3 on the home page, we want to say .limit parenthesis 8. Go to the browser and refresh. And there we go, only 8 boxes, okay? Alright, go back to the text editor and go to missions.html.erb. And under here, the call-md-6, the second one, let's create a div with 12 column span. Okay, so class equals call-md-12. So in here, this is where we're going to have the button. So we want to have a button that basically says previous and then a button that says next. And again, as stated, when on the home page we want the previous to disappear. No, on the first page we want the previous to disappear. Okay, so let's go to the mission controller again, and in the mission list action we need to first define a new instance variable which we would name @page, which will take a parameter. So type @page equals params square bracket single quotation and within here type page. This will be an integer, so type .to_i, which is a method to handle integers or convert to integers. Okay, I think we've done it before. Okay, here just a little comment for myself. All right, now so underneath here we need to define the instance variables for the previous and the next page. So let's first do @prev actually let's do add next underscore page, and that will be basically pointing to add page plus 1. So we need to say equal add page plus 1. And then the previous we need to do the opposite. So here type add prev underscore page equals add page minus 1. Okay, so that is actually our next and our previous. Now we're going to go to the missions view, and now let's define these buttons. So open up your Ruby syntax here, and then equal sign, oops, there, and we need to say link underscore to, and let's give it a click text of next. And then we need the path here. Now we can delete this previous and next. So we need the path. So we need to go to the terminal, and we need to run rake routes to make sure we get the correct path. So go to your terminal, and I will clear. Oops, there we go. And then type rails routes or rake routes. Either works. Oopsie, there we go. Okay. There. All right, so let's scroll up here and see what the path is that we need. There we go. We need the mission list underscore missions. All right, so I'm actually going to copy this from the terminal, which I do with Shift Control. Go back to your text editor, and here then type a comma and paste in or type in mission list underscore missions underscore path. And then parentheses, and this need to take the object page, so type colon page, equal sign, greater than sign for a hash rocket, and then type at next underscore page, and then close the Ruby syntax. We can copy this for the previous. So here let's do a click text of previous, previous, and then here instead of saying next underscore page, it says prev underscore page. Save it. Let's go to the browser and refresh. Oopsie, I have a mistake. Okay, so I put a plus instead of an equal sign, but it actually says here for nil classes because it treated it as a 0 or nothing. It can't find it. So let's go back to the mission controller, and first before correcting my mistake, we need to have a condition here for the last next page. So here we'd say unless, so this is, I don't think we used unless before. It's a condition you can do in one swoop. So we'd say unless mission.count is less than 8. So if it's less than 8, no more next page. And then here, for the previous page, we say unless at page equal 0, which means define it to 0. And now change that plus sign to an equal sign. You probably didn't make the same mistake as I did. Alright, it's always easy to make small little mistakes. But let's go to the browser and refresh now, and hopefully all goes well. Alright, refresh. Cool, there we go. Now we have a next button and a previous button. So click on them. Nothing is going to change yet, but if you notice, if you look at the address bar in the URL, you see that the numbers are changing as you click previous and previous or next. All right. So what we do is actually now we need to offset these pages by 8 boxes each time we click on them, and there is a method called offset. So here in the controller of the limit 8, type dot offset, and we need to multiply the page by 8. So type in here the parentheses, type at page star 8. So that's at page times 8. Okay. For instance, then if you want to offset by 5, you could limit 5 and offset by 5. All right. But this is just a demonstration. We offset by 8. Back to the browser, refresh. All right. Okay, so now when you click previous and next, it goes to the next pages. All right, cool. Let's go back to the text editor and let's continue. So let's style these next buttons first. Okay, so we're just going to do this with regular Bootstrap with the btn and the btn dash. Okay, so after here type comma class colon quotation, and that's the btn dash sm for small, and then btm dash info. And then let's float them to the right. So remember, we created that class called float r. So put that in, and let's just copy this and put it in the next one for the previous. So comma and paste it in. All right, save it, go to the browser, refresh. There we go, but they're a little squished, so we need a margin. So let's do inline styling right here, comma, let's say style colon quotation, and let's say margin of 1 pixel. Actually, let's do 2 pixels. That's going to work out better. Okay, and we copy this and we paste it into the previous button. Okay, save it, back to the browser and refresh. Good. All right, now I have a little space there. Test them. So if you notice, when I'm the first, I was clicking on it, but nothing happens. So now let's put in a condition that if you are in the previous page or the very first page, the previous button is not there. So open up the Ruby syntax and type if at page, oops, no space there, greater than 0, and close the Ruby syntax, and then let's put in an end here. So if the page is greater than 0, which is the first page, the button will not be there. Oh, the button will be there, I mean. Okay, and let's do the same for the next link. Okay, so we do a similar thing. Open up the Ruby syntax, and here we'd say, remember, there's no equal sign now. So here we say if admissions dot count greater than or equal to 8. Okay, then show the next button. So this means that if it's less than 8, the button will disappear. So if it's 7 or 0 boxes or something like that, there will be no next page. And let's put in an if statement for the message as well when you are on the last page. So we could copy the top one there, and here we can just say if admission.count less than 8, and close it with an end. And in here we can just put in a text, sorry, this is the last mission page. Oops, mission page. Okay, and a period. All right, let's go to the browser and refresh. Cool. All right, the previous disappeared on the first page. Click next, previous shows up. Click next, next button is gone, and the message is there. So that's a really good way actually to use just if statement to hide things. All right, so what we want to do now we actually want to put in the search form for the all pages there, so you can search the mission list. So go back to your text editor. I'm closing a few things here. Then go to views. Actually, I did not mean to close mission.html.erb. Open it up again. And then go to the shared folder and open up the footer partial. Scroll down and let's copy the search form. So copy from the div class of form-inline to the closing of that div. Again, so make sure you copy it. And then go to the mission.html.erb, and in the second call -md-6, paste it in. And let's make that as a light background, so delete bg-dark. Go to the browser and refresh. There, all right, so that looks nice. Let's make the search button light as well. Okay, I think that would work by deleting these two things. There, let's try it. Save it and go to the browser and refresh. Okay, the black background was still there. Okay, so Bootstrap was overriding things. But remember, we created a btn-light class. Let's go and check it out. So go to Assets, Style Sheets, and Application Style Sheets. Scroll down. Let's see. There we go. So there we have that btn-light. So copy that and then paste it over btn-outline-info. Okay, save it. Go back to the browser and refresh. Great. So that's a nice, actually, I think that looks very fresh and nice. Let's search for something. Let's search for the number 4. At least I can do it. 4 has shown up a bit. Okay. I did it. I mean, we definitely need to style this search result at one point, but I want to focus on the coding for the next few sessions. Okay, let's go to the terminal and let's do our git commit. So then git status clear. Let's do git add space dot and then git commit -m, and then we have to write in what we did last time as well. So there we added the view and the actions for mission list, actually. And then what else did we do? So then we created data from the seeds file, and then this time and created custom pagination. Okay. All right, cool. Let's clear it. Let's do git status again. On branch master, nothing to commit. Okay, so we're going to expand on this next time, and we'll do a little bit of math, actually, with division and modulus to display the number of the page exactly. All right, see you then. Have fun. Take care. Bye-bye.
This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade, and the papers want to know whose shirts you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule